Hey guys, I'm Alex, and I'm here to talk to you about the Disney College program. I did mine, the first program I did last fall, so fall 2014, and I loved it. But what I want to talk to you guys about in this video, which is my first video, is about the role of full service food and beverage, which is what my role was. So what I did was full service food and beverage, and I worked at Sci-Fi Drive-In Movie Theater at Hollywood Studios. And what you do in full service is you're a seater. A lot of people tend to think that you can also be a server, but you can't. You can only be a seater. But there are different roles that you do in your seater position. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today and tell you a little bit about what I experienced, and it may give you an idea of what you could experience. I haven't seen many videos for full service food and beverage, and I haven't found too many blogs because, trust me, I tried to do some research before I went to the program the first time, and I couldn't find anything, so I didn't really know what to expect. I did know that it was just a seater position, but I don't know. I had no idea what I was going into. So that's why I'm here. Okay. First off, I'm just going to refer to full service as FSFB because it's easier than saying full service food and beverage. So, FSFB. I'm going to go through a list of what all is included in this role for CPs. So, first off, you seat people. Guests come in and they're ready to eat, they're hungry, they've been walking in the park. You're the person that has to get them to their table, and they tend to like to blame you if they don't get to their table at the exact time that they're wanting. So, yeah, that's like a big responsibility for you, and it's also extremely important that you interact with the guests while they're waiting on their table, because I know at Sci-Fi there were a lot of times where um we would be backed up because it's a busy restaurant, and we had to do trivia games. We had to just go around talk with guests about their experience so far at Disney, and sometimes they just didn't want to have it. So you have to try your best. Something else that you may do in FSFB is the greeter position. Now, this may sound like, oh, fun, I get to stand at the door and be like, hey, that's not greeter. What greeter is you stand at the podium where the computer system is, and you check the guests into the system. So you wear a headset where you talk to the assigner, who is the person that assigns people to tables. They're usually back in the dining room, and you have to communicate with them over the headset while checking guests in. So if they have a reservation, you'll find the reservation, you'll click it, make sure information is right, and then click that they're there so that the assigner knows that, hey, I need to seat these people. Their reservation is at 4:30. I need to make sure I can seat them right at their reservation. If not before. Sometimes, though, it ends up being later. You just never know. So the greeter position for me was so stressful because you have tons of people coming in. Not only are there people that are checking in for their reservation that they've made however long ago, there are also people that come by and are hoping for a standby table. And that's where it gets tricky because you have to communicate with the assigner and also try to figure out on your own how much space you have and come up with the estimated time for how long these guests will wait. It doesn't sound that hard, but it stressed me out, and every time they always wanted me on greeter. I don't really know why. Maybe I was good at it, but I didn't like it that much. So, I usually tried to some people like it because you just stand there. So I usually was like, "Hey, anybody else wanna be greeter?" I loved seating people, so that was what I enjoyed the most. And, that's pretty much it. And aside from seating people and greeter, what you do in your downtime is just talk to the guests or make sure that nowhere else needs any help. For example, sometimes I had to go bus tables for the servers to try to get the table turnover moving so that we could get the guests back there. But yeah, aside from that, that's it. Now, for most CPs, sorry, I have some notes. Okay. Okay. For most CPs, you're typically going to be working the last shift. So what this means is you're going to be last guest. And what that means is you're there until the restaurant closes. Now, once the restaurant closes, say your restaurant closes at 10 p.m., you don't get to leave at 10 p.m. You may, occasionally, but what you have to do is you have to wait until the last guest in the dining room is out that door and everything is done in the dining room aside from the servers cleaning. As soon as that last guest walks out and you've cleared all of the tables on your computer, which is something else you have to do while you're waiting, you have to make sure everything is clean, everything's restocked, so that when the people come in the next morning or whatever time for the restaurant to open again, that they don't have to run back and forth to get everything together for that day. So it's your responsibility to make sure everything's clean and stocked and blah blah blah. It's really not that difficult, but most people don't like being last guest because sometimes guests just sit there forever thinking that, hey, I'm just going to sit in this empty restaurant and not eat and just sit here. And you're like, I'm hungry and I'm tired. But it's worth it because, you know, you're making magic. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna move on to the. Okay. So now that you kind of know what you're supposed to do in FSFB and just what you'll be doing, I guess it can be different at different locations. So if you get there and it's different, don't get mad at me because I'm just telling you based off of my personal experience. So, I was told before I went to the program that FSFB had the least amount of hours, or was one of the few that has the least amount of working hours. And for me, that was nice because I didn't have to. I know some roles worked crazy hours, and I would say I probably worked about 30 to 40 hours a week. I think that was probably about on average, and that's not bad at all. And it's like pretty short shifts. Sometimes though, I'd work maybe a 12-hour shift, which I know people that worked longer than that before. Um, so I think that's a perk. Some people want to work more, but you can always pick up shifts. You just have to get it approved and whatnot. Um, I honestly, I loved this role. I was a little worried. The reason I got it was because in my interview, I had a ton of FSFB experience and I talked about it on my interview. And as soon as my interview was done, I was like, I'm getting full service because she kept asking me questions about it, and I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I have experience, like I can do it. But it was better than any restaurant I've ever worked in before this. Like any FSFB experience I've had before doesn't compare to my time at Sci-Fi. I mean, you'll get irritated with your role no matter what role you're in. I promise you will get irritated. But it's so fun because you get to learn about your location and you get to become a part of it. And that was me at Sci-Fi. You get to be a part of the atmosphere and wear your costume and talk to guests and meet all kinds of people. Which reminds me, also in FSFB, if you're into this kind of thing, you have a great opportunity to see a bunch of different celebrities. I know at Sci-Fi is a really popular location. The biggest one for me was I met Chris Evans. I almost died. I told him where the bathroom was. Anyways, I also met Lily, who on Modern Family, the little girl that plays Lily. There was a queen, the Queen of Qatar, ate at our restaurant. Woman, can't remember her name. She was on SNL, and she also was Lindsay Lohan's mom on Mean Girls. She ate there, and Boys to Men. I had to look at my notes. Boys to Men ate there. There are a lot of others I can't remember exactly, and then I know after I left, Adam Sandler ate there. I was so mad. But yeah, it was really cool. I mean, obviously you have to keep composed and seem like, "Oh, I don't know who you are, and I'm treating you as every other guest." So, you have to work really hard to do that because your leaders might get onto you if you're acting crazy at a celebrity. So, um, let's see. What else? That's really about it. I absolutely loved this role. I know I've said that maybe like 5 times, but I would recommend it to anyone. I know it's not typically a first choice for people when they apply to the program. Usually people are like character attendant, character performer. Um, a lot of people like attractions, which is what I'm doing on my next program that I'll be there in February. Um, and just other roles like that are what people typically go for. So you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. There might be some other FSFB videos out there. I haven't checked recently, but I'm just gonna use this one as a startup for my channel, and hopefully I'll get a little better at making videos because I'm pretty sure I've been bouncing up and down and this camera has been like wow, 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 the whole time. So, and I keep messing up. So, gonna work on that. Oh, look, I'm wearing Bambi leggings. Oh, and my Bambi shirt. Lauren Conrad collection at Kohl's. Okay, anyways, subscribe if you want to see more videos, comment, like, whatever you want to do. And I will make more videos. I might even make them anyways because what else do I have to do?